G'day guys, welcome to another weekly developer update. This is CW, and joining me once again we have Ilya. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well. Happy to be here and cover what the developers have been up to. Busy time.
Yeah, exactly. As always, there's a lot going on in the ecosystem, but I think one of the biggest updates we've got of recent time is the Node 5.0 voting.
Yeah, that's been in skunkworks for a long time. You know, it's like 14, 15, 16 months in the making, with being developed in the background, tested, implemented into ScoreX, the Sigma state interpreter. We're going to see some nice improvements if that is approved, which I haven't heard any kickback, so I assume it's going to be.
Yeah, so it's a big change just in the costing model, going from sort of ahead of time to just in time and ahead of time sort of hybrid model. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Sure. So what we're going to get is faster script execution, and we're also going to start seeing space in blocks used more efficiently. So both of those together, you know, if you execute scripts faster, basically you increase like the transaction rate when you're dealing with scripts. And on the block side, when you have better costing, you can include more transactions into that space more efficiently. So you also get a little bump in terms of the throughput, just because you're utilizing the potential space in the block more efficiently.
Yeah, so everyone's basically a winner. Miners can sort of jam more into each block, and then there's better cost predictability also for script execution, and then a number of different factors.
Yeah, and then things move a little faster for users. So it's rare where you have something that doesn't come with too much of a trade-off, and this is one of those things where, you know, I think the benefits across the ecosystem are pretty distributed between all the different actors.
Yeah, by all means. All right, mate. Well, it's a great little rundown of Node 5.0. So by the time this video sort of goes live, voting could possibly have completed as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, let's jump into the developer update. All right, so jumping in, we have Apextheory. Do you want to take that one?
Sure. So Apex has been working on the node, optimizing the mempool. Looks like he has 2 polls that he completed this week. One's going, basically it's improving the mempool efficiency. Looks like he's going to be able to take some more tasks, although he's going to be away for part of this week. Hope he enjoys himself. And it looks like underneath, Green Hat's been on vacation too. So it's nice to see people taking care of themselves. They're usually quite busy.
Yeah, exactly. And that sort of goes for everyone in the ecosystem as well. We all know crypto can be pretty hectic, so take some time to yourself and get out and about and see some sunshine and get away from the screens. So moving on, we have jozinek with a Sigma update. So he's got a placeholder syntax pull request sitting there, and just squashed some bugs reported by users who tested human readable ergo tree via his ergo node. And then just next up, continuing work on the placeholder syntax.
Nice.
Moving on, we have MrStahlfelge.
All right, so MrStahlfelge is pushed wallet app 2.0.2214. That's rolled out to all users, Android and iOS. You put in a tag that if you're using the Android side, make sure that you activate the Mosaik plugin in the settings screen. Apple users, there's a new version that can be used on N1 desktops that should never crash at startup. That's nice to see. Looks like on Mosaik, he's working towards the next release with new view elements and a lot of improvements, fixes while implementing more apps. In terms of the Ergo Appkit, he's been in discussions with Morphic. The current snapshot accident used a Java 8 feature and thus was not working on the iOS build, which is restricted to Java 7. So they're working together on a fix.
Yeah, nice. I've had a bit of a play on the Ergo wallet also with the Mosaik plugin. Works pretty smoothly.
Nice.
So moving on, we have Luivatra with Paideia staking v3 and governance. So on Plasma, the based proof of concept is working. The contract's now configurable through a data input, which allows for changes to occur through the DAO proposals. This includes the contract itself. Almost finished, including profit sharing. The default profit sharing will accept ERG and the staked token itself. Other tokens can be whitelisted to be accepted as profit, so i.e. SIG-USD. Now this is to avoid a staking setup being bogged down by shitcoins like Comet. That's a pretty cheeky little comment there, Louis. And then in general development, it's a bit of a struggle due to the AOT costing. So currently trying to figure out why transaction cost explodes when updating more than 70 stakes. And then when 5.8, hopefully soon, Louis. So moving on, we have Alex.
So Alex has been busy with the node. I know he was assembling 4.0.41 that he pushed today. That has some optimizations in the mempool. Looks like he's also checking what's going on with the orphan rate, and I believe he found a fix that he pushed into 4.0.41. There was some small pools that were reporting a higher orphan rate than normal, so this new node version should patch that for them. Looks like he's looking into the 5.0 node bootstrapping with checkpoints switched off. And he's putting the reminder that voting could be started today, which at this point, it's already underway. On other matters, he's reviewing Dexy contracts. He updated the paper based on the conversation with scalahub. He pushed out a decentralized trading contract draft on Ergo forum, and he also made a forum post on trustless Oracle contracts. He's working on a design sketch for spender sign currency on top of Ergo, and that's something that I know he wanted to put up on the forum as well. So those of you that are interested, Alex loves to do R&D. He open sources his code, he puts it on the forum, and that's kind of an easy way for community members to potentially pick up those tools and put them together, build unique stuff on top of them.
Pretty funny in some respect also, because you see how much work he's putting into the node and other sort of aspects in regards to Ergo, and then he still has his little side hustle here where he does the R&D and then provides these little updates for the community. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he gets ideas and then he chases them down when he has spare time. It's like we've been talking with market makers, and so he's like, well, what if we created a decentralized grid bot and open sourced it? You think people would use that? Yeah, probably. So we started putting it together, and then hopefully someone out there in the community picks it up, implements it, lowers the barrier of entry, and then the whole community has a new tool that they can play with.
Yeah, exactly. Which not only could be utilized for that use case, but yeah, for something else also in the future.
Yeah.
So moving on, we have QX from ergoport. So added an alert system for get block mining, which simply make an account on the my.ergoport.dev website and add your Telegram name and mining wallet, and then join the ergoport Telegram, and you'll be notified every hour if your mining rig count has changed. So 1 to 0, 0 to 1, 3 to 1, etc. Added more coins to the price tracking report system. Added a section in my weekly developer update on Discord Ergo Dev channel that is nothing other than getting Armenio and CW to say dick butt again. There you go, mate.
Walks right into that.
Exactly. So moving on, we have scalahub.
Sure. scalahub's been busy working on Dexy. Dexy is basically a simplified mechanism to create derivatives on top of Ergo, whether it's gold or silver or the dollar or whatever Oracle feed you want to plug into it. He's been in discussions with Alex about the efficiency of the protocol itself. He's also been working with the tracking contract to optimize it, clean up code, make it basically as efficient as possible, so there's not a lot of costing involved.
Yeah, nice to see. And moving on, we have MHS with the Rosen Bridge. So he's made all the repos public. You can jump onto the GitHub there and check those out. If you have any expertise in any related repos, seriously looking for help in reviewing and auditing the code. So 2 to 3 remaining repos will be made public in the coming days after some bug fixes are complete. Docs are not satisfying yet, but working on it. Still testing and integrating the subsystem. Progress is good. A few minor issues that have been found and should be fixed. For example, they have some issues with the P2P connection management that needs some refractors. And if things go well, we'll have the first transaction on Cardano testnet next dev meeting. And by the way, this new issue may emerge during these tests at any time, so to keep that in mind. And a big partnership discussion is ongoing, and it will let us know when things have settled. A lot of the community members are hanging for that to sort of go live, I think. Yeah,
I think, well, we'll see how things progress. I think you might do kind of what he did with Raffle, where, you have a live DApp, you have open source code, but then people ask, well, wait, where's the token, right? To have some, some beta testing is probably quite important for this type of build. But yeah, there's some partnership discussions going on behind the scene. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah, watch this space. And as always, soon.
Yeah, soon.
Moving on, we have Nemo.
All right, so Nemo did upgrade the SDK to Fleet instead of Flat. So it looks like with Fleet, there's been a lot of research ongoing on constant serialization and reading ergo tree specs. He's added VLQ and zigzag serialization. He's completed the output builder implementation with token minting methods and register serialization, as well as GraphQL is still being added and worked with. They've added box info into unconfirmed inputs resolver. They've added DBSSL parameter, and they've released a new version 0.3.2.
Awesome. Moving on, we have Morphic, and he's back to work, so hopefully be more active in the coming weeks. Welcome back, mate. So on the Sigma side, implemented a fix in Sigma for RoboVM compatibility. It's working towards supporting constant placeholders in Ergo script. Then on the Ergo side, the memory snapshot analysis of Ergo node. There's a review there for the PR. And then on miscellaneous, just interacting in discussions in Discord. And then next up, the memory profiling of Ergo node with version 5.0 activated. And scrolling down, we have Glasgow.
All right, so it looks like Glasgow's been chipping away at Ergo docs. He restructured slightly and more resources copied over from Discord. He's tidying up mining resources on the docs social website now in preparation for the merge, which is quite important because, yeah, we might have an influx of new users here pretty soon. So it's a good idea to get the documentation and community support up because sometimes new users are like liquid, man. They just find the cracks. Like there's no other way to put it. So, having as much documentation, community support, and getting the community ready to assist new users is really valuable. So even those of you that are out there that are either mining or running a rig, we might hit some high traffic times, and in the past, that can be a little overwhelming. So, having the community having our backs is huge.
Yep.
In that sense. And then, touch wood, hope your servers don't melt, right?
Touch wood.
Yeah, that's always a concern.
Yeah.
Looks like he's been letting a few more candidates into Sigmanauts. You'd recommend anyone actively involved in the ecosystem and interested in helping shape Ergo's growth, governance, and etc. to apply. There's a community page on the site for more information. Basically, we're getting together a group of community users. Our goal is to put together some joint spending, build kind of like a decentralized group of actors that bring different skill sets to the table, and hopefully even beyond working with Ergo as like the core protocol. We'll see projects grow and look to that Sigmanaut program to help them, in a wide variety of use cases, skills, things that they need to farm out anyway. You might as well work with people in the community that have specialized skill sets, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. You see a lot of people sort of reaching out in regards to say they may not necessarily have the development background and looking for other ways to contribute. I think this is a fantastic way to do so. No,
it is. There's a lot of talent out there, whether it's content creation, art, channel management. There's just a ton of stuff that needs to happen kind of on the back end, even beyond the code. So having like a community DAO or a group of pooled resources there that can assist anybody that's trying to build in the ecosystem. It's like you just plug into a big team, and hopefully that helps with cutting some of the drama that exists in this space between projects. We'll see. I hope so.
Touch wood.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like Glasgow is also working on Discord forums. And it looks like the update, in addition to pending ledger review flag, it's causing the app to crash in ledger's testing. So they've now had this issue with another blockchain and are investigating the bug on their side and have prioritized the fix of the issue, which is on their side. So hopefully not that much longer. For now, you can sideload the S plus as well as the S. I know there's a ton of people out there that are saying win, 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 win. And it's one of those things that like the ball is no longer in our hands. So I'm asking the same question, when?
Soon.
Yeah, soon.
So moving on, we have LowKeyNerd from BlitzTCG. So over at Blitz, they've released a new website. So you can head over there to blitz-tcg.com. They finished merging the auth dev and the deck builder dev. They released their first lore chapter, released a new music track, and have started looking into integrating the game client with the Ergo blockchain. So i.e. query the blockchain to retrieve token IDs that they can use to show the users cards. So if you want some more updates, you jump onto their Twitter. There's a lot of releases there in regards to sort of the visual side and then even the audio also. So if you want to explore further, head over to their Twitter account. And moving on, we have Cheese Enthusiast.
All right, so Cheese is with GetBlock.io. They're working on subpooling. Looks like they finished up almost all of the Neta off-chain code. That should be out later this week. In terms of the layer 2, they're mapping out the initial design for AVL tree of shares, looking for different methods for posting shares on chain that are Plasma or Rollup like. Finding the best way to decentralize transaction sequencer when posting transactions to Ergo. They've settled on miner chosen collateral boxes for participation in the mining pool. This has the benefit of allowing miners to choose their own collateral box, also much less complexity when requiring randomly selected boxes. I don't know if everybody's been watching that, but that mechanism that they're trying to put together in terms of miner collateral is something that I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, watch this space, because basically it's kind of creating its own little DeFi ecosystem for miners.
Yeah, that's it's a big deal. Then also hoping to start initial contract implementations for collateral boxes and share fraud proof within the next 1 to 2 weeks. So go ahead and hit that cheese button.
Might as well do that right now. There we go. Moving on, we have Fanta. So they've just fixed an issue that caused the node to fail reading the config file on Arch. Also fixed the possible exception in the network manager if the internet gets dropped momentarily, and we'll make a PR after completing some tests. And then just a little update here from Crass. So Kushti asked earlier who was developing or working on duck pools. Crass just in reply saying yes, that's him, and just has some real world things to take care of and won't release any updates now, but progress is being made. And next up, we have haileypdll.
All right. So it looks like he's released SAFEW 0.6.7 to address ErgoPad connection and to improve the chained transaction handling. Blob's Topia alpha test was ran this weekend. Many thanks to everybody out there in the community that tests. I know that when you have developer building stuff, having the community feedback support, and oftentimes, like the Gaza style just breaking things is super valuable. Before you try to push any further. Looks like they had a total of 38 fights, have been proceeded for a total played amount of 8.31 ergs. The basic game mechanism seems to be working fine. There are many improvements to be done within the UI and additional features for the scripts to improve the gameplay and interest. So that's great to see.
I wouldn't mind jumping on there and have a bit of a play with that. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
And moving on, nice little comment here from Kushti, just in regards to reviewing some contracts for haileypdll. So we'll review the contracts soon.
Trademark.
So moving on, we have Quwin. So recently they've been working on potential scaling solutions and decided to look into optimistic rollups. So here is a sample structure. Rollup box holds the current state tree, an AVL tree of pseudo boxes, and the unconfirmed state tree, an AVL tree of all past state digests, which are not yet confirmed, and then the TX digest for each transaction. All transactions are then considered valid by default. If an unconfirmed transaction is invalid, anyone can submit a fraud proof showing exactly where and why a transaction is not valid. Now, this takes significantly less computation than verifying an entire transaction is valid every transaction, reducing fees and allowing for more complex L2 transactions. Also been mapping out the optimistic rollup structure and testing out fraud-proof structures, but nothing concrete to show yet. So once they have something, they'll make a detailed forum post and a public GitHub repo. And then the main thing they're working on specifically is balancing the level of validation in submitting the rollup transactions to be viable and balancing data inputs for fraud proofs between AVL trees. So then you can store more data, useful if data is static and known beforehand, but takes up less computation power. Then the raw context variables are limited to 95 kilobytes. Necessary data is not known beforehand, but less computation power use also. Good to see another scaling solution being delved into.
Yep.
And moving on, we have Jay the Ergod with the Night Owl update.
Sure. So it looks like Night Owl has been progressing greatly in their UI. The front end is pretty much complete, missing some minor updates like adding the coin flip animation of the coin flipping and some other minuscule fixes. The back end has also seen a ton of progress. They still need to finish the max payout calculation for games and work on integrating the front end with the back end. At this point, they may have a delay or have to delay the launch by a couple of weeks. So hopefully some auditing by the Ergo Core Team Plus, be able to get some testing in should be able to give more concrete date by next week. I'm sure a lot of the Ergo core would be happy to do some auditing, and I know the community would love to go test it. So I don't think that will be any issue. Also working with Andy to set up a DiscoverErgo Day on September 15th. This day will push all members of the community to go out and share what they love the most about Ergo on Twitter using the hashtags DiscoverErgo, Ergo, and $Ergo. Night Owl and other projects will sponsor this event to reward the top 10 tweets with various prizes, tokens, NFTs. We believe this can snowball and can cause a great push to get more members into our community. And then in all caps, please all participate. So it looks like they will be willing to share more on this through the weeks. It's nice to see some community marketing coming together.
Yeah, it's had a nice little rally there. So there's some more details also on the Reddit. There's a nice post there. But also, yeah, by all means, share what you love in sort of a non-shilly way. I'd probably like to sort of make that emphasis also. But I know a lot of community members are putting together some infographics and bits and pieces also. So I think it's pretty cool to see, like you said, the community get together and rally in that respect.
Yeah, I think it's good to educate. You know, when you shill, there's just enough of that.
Exactly.
I don't know how else to put it. Like, I think at this point, most people are like immune that have been in the crypto space for a while.
Yeah, I think give kudos to our community also. They do a great job of that also, because we do have a lot of unique features, and a lot of the community members are more than willing to sort of jump out and provide us a little bit of explanation in regards to sort of what it is and how it's utilized, etc. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, we do have a good community in that regard. Looks like for Night Owl, the front end, they updated the homepage. They finished the games directory page. They finished swap UI. They finished info buttons, UI for all games. They've added language options to page. They've fixed text across the site. Other small fixes across the site as well. On the back end, they're working on a new integration of Ring using Drand Love. Looks like he's asking Kushti and MHS if they could review in a DM when they get a chance. The max payout calculation is almost complete. That's basically the max bet allowed depending on the liquidity in the pool to protect the house. That way, obviously, you know, you don't bankrupt the casino if luck comes your way. Yeah, and other stuff. They're working on a promotional video with Andy. And again, they're working on DiscoverErgo Day, September 15th, which that may or may not be the day of the merge. Let's see. Yeah,
I think that's the day it's actually scheduled. But yeah, and you know, in regards to development, anything can pop up last minute. So yeah, just watch this space. Moving on, we have Ilya from Spectrum. I still have to sort of check myself here because I constantly keep saying Ergo Dex.
Yeah, it'll be Ergo Dex for me for like the next year. And then at some point, sink in. But
so Ilya from Spectrum, they're working on Spectrum P2P and the peer manager implementation, and has finished simulation of the LQ, so liquidity mining pools. The new pool math allows to distribute exact amounts each epoch and reward participants depending on their stake and number of frames they are sitting in the pool. And is going to implement everything in ErgoScript now. And moving on, we have Liquid Phase with Swamp Audio.
All right, so Swamp Audio has been busy. Looks like they're doing some on-chain testing for mutual group of release of work agreements. The top output is the contract. The next 5 are royalties sent to the artists. The next is the buyer receiving the assets, then mining fee in the change box. It looks like the Nautilus dApp connector for Laravel PHP is nearly completed and ready for release. Looks like that's their major focus, is to get those released ASAP. as most of the fundamental DApp functionality can move into the next phase of development, depending on those two. So nice to see.
Yep. And moving on, we have a non-real. So on the auction house front, there's more work on implementation of the new collections EIP, fixed bugs in one of their APIs related to mass minting, and then to connect to the front end, and then to connect the front end to the back end, they need to get a list of artworks from each user and the user's wallet. They currently have implemented it by getting all of the UTXOs thanks to Captain Nemo. A new function will be added to Nautilus that gives all users balance in a list. So once that's done, they'll make the switch also. Implemented criteria to validate a collection box before sending it to the network. A change in EIP 24 is made. So merge two of the registers related to royalties for a better design. So CC Hazy and the Sky Harbor guys. Get my words mixed up there.
Happens. No worries.
So the new collection and the new artwork front end pages are being developed, expected to be finished by the end of next week, so they can finally test the whole process of creating collections and adding artworks to them. Fixed a couple of bugs in the front end, and then has figured out most of the tokenomics for the auction house token. So part of that is distributing some of the auction house profits to stakers, and working on a solution themselves, and also seeking help from Marty on the ErgoPad side, if possible. So details will be announced once the design is done. A lot going on there on the auction house. And then on Ergo teams, the contracts are updated to include the Ergo team fee box. They're having some problems with tests related to changing a team's configs, e.g. number of required votes, etc. And that is caused due to AOT costing. That basically some output box is using different register types in different scenarios, which causes issues, and they are working on a fix. However, these kinds of fixes make contracts messy and open the door for bugs. So let's see. And then on the front end, it's progressing well. A new UI dev will join and increase the speed of front end development in the coming days. Lots going there on the non-real side. Comment here from Kushti, just in regards to the 5.0 voting. So we started today. So yep, we're looking at that. And moving on, we have Keith from Excel.
All right, so Excel's been working on the refund transaction testing. Test the refund on mainnet. The update August 20th, fixed conditions, chain refund from Excelbot is working. Number 2, implement refund funding. A, refund proxy create. B, refund proxy fund lend. C, refund proxy fund repayment. And D, update done. Then on to the third thing, they're running the transaction bot for extended period of time. A, fixed parsing error for service bot to not end the whole program. B, run transaction bot for 2 days and see if it breaks. Looks like they ran it from August 14th to 16th. C, update made a catch fix, started running 4:41 p.m. August 20th, still failing. Looks like they'll continue fixing errors as they go there. They improved the visualization and the visualizer and some contract fix. They're investigating into lend to repayment failure in mainnet. Says biggest block. Next week, they're going to continue investigation and fixing the lend to repayment. They're going to do some testing on testnet for all transactions and continue the Excelbot test.
Nice thorough update there. And moving on, we have MG Pi from Ergo Sapiens. So successful with the AVL plasma-based contracts. I was working on implementing the new EIP standards within those contracts. Had a poor testing event on Sunday since they were running a transaction builder server side. It's caused all sorts of concurrency issues. So working with Wasm now so they can have a client-side transaction builder. And then just on a separate note, I think it's important that we all contribute in answering questions, especially on the node channel on Discord. I was noticing some more members there asking questions, and it's important that the community sort of gets out and helps where they can, just with the growth and the influx we could possibly see with the ETH merge. So it's crucial that we do help them, and so they don't get frustrated and leave this wonderful community.
Yeah.
And moving on, we have CM Mongo.
All right, looks like the apartment update. During the edit mode, map can be dragged with the mouse. 2 new floor types to choose from when decorating. Floor positioning will always stay behind the character. In floor, referring to items that are placed on the floor, have collision and can be on top or below the character. They're creating a UI for selecting floor and wall textures. They've marked every sector and add code to it. So decoration of rooms can be done with minimal clicks. They finished the floor walls features. They made rules for customizing types of floors and walls. Items cannot be placed directly above each other except in picture. Items cannot be placed unless the spot is totally empty. For this type of furniture, it's in floor, and then it gives a link. Looks like still in progress is new player selection UI with icons, the UI for demo API saving apartments, audio NFTs. Our music composer created 2 new songs for the upcoming giveaway airdrop event, and add wave 3 to rewards section. Progress in remaking the map. Artists created bank building. 1 big building takes 4 or 5 days for them to create. In terms of cyber events, they will soon launch another giveaway airdrop for new Cyber Citizens audio NFT. All holders should have at least 1 Cyber Citizen. They can qualify for an airdrop and get 1 audio NFT. We will use Breeze bots, which after qualifying your address automatically removes your message and saves only the qualified address in the JSON to ensure privacy. And so we could airdrop the audio NFTs. The bot also detects if the qualified wallet holds Cyber Citizens. If no Cyber Citizen is detected, the address is considered invalid and will be deleted. So that's kind of neat to see. Neat tool that can scan to see if you hold something to then receive an airdrop. That's kind of neat.
A couple of little teasers here also. So if you want to watch the video, by all means, jump onto Discord and hit that little link. I think that's it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Another significant update. I think we've sort of run a bit longer this time just by the amount of detail that the guys have put in this week.
Yeah, long video. I hope everybody that managed to stick through us or with us through this whole thing still here. It was a good update overall. It was exciting to see, let's say exploration into layer 2s and, potential new builds. We're getting a lot of unique bots with features across the ecosystem. Some of the core research and development is still underway, which is exciting to see. So, yeah.
Watch this space. And also QX, no more trolling.
Yeah.
Ron
Bergen. Just read what's in here.
Exactly. Guys, thanks very much for tuning in once again. It's been a pleasure bringing another weekly developer update. And Joe, thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.